Alright, this is The Return of the Stainless Steel Rat from Ares Magazine number 10. This issue came out September 1981, so it's a bit of an older game. This is a solo-only kind of paragraph-driven adventure game. Harry Harrison's Stainless Steel Rat character is a great adventure sci-fi character. There's a volume published with 3 kind of novellas. In here is actually a short story featuring him. It's only like 5 or 6, 8 magazine pages. Haven't read it yet because I just wanted to get right into the game. So I played it once. It's pretty interesting. It's pretty mechanistically light. It's only 9 pages of rules. I guess 8 pages because they count the cover as page 1. So not many rules at all. Basically the sequence of play, you can see here, movement, exploration, interaction, reorganization. So movement, you're gonna try to get through either a door or a bulkhead. You can go through a door. You have to check to see if it's locked or trapped or whatever. You can go through a bulkhead if you have a laser cutter, which I don't. Yeah, right there, which I'm not taking, just because I like following rules. So I'm gonna just stick to a lockpick here and get through with that. So the first time I played, I didn't gear up enough. So this time I'm gearing up a little bit more. So broad overview. You're playing as either Jim or Angelina. It's easier to play as Jim because it's right here in the middle of everything, but you can play as Angelina. You could probably use the same display, doesn't matter. You can also play it 2-player where each of you is controlling a character, and you can adventure on your own, which is kind of a cool idea. So the idea of the game is you're on this spaceship, or space station, I guess, more, that has 3 levels, A, B, C. Each level has 3 levels within it, and they make a loop around here. On the map, these are hatches to space. These red are access ways, so it's an elevator from here to here to here, or here to here, you know. There's these arrows here that are inside the space station, so you can exit here and go into any of the other arrows. You're trying to get to the computer here, deactivate the computer because the computer has been sabotaged and is malfunctioning things on the space station. Along the way, you're gathering clues to figure out who on the space station of these people did it. Along the way, you're battling these robots, potentially these people using all sorts of varied equipment. So as you're going along, you have to be aware, and you can use it to your advantage if you would like to. You have these suspension of disbelief points here, and they're used for all sorts of different things, and it's really kind of a neat mechanism. So here, the first thing we're going to do is select our villain. So we have a stack of 6 chits. I actually need to refresh that. We have 6 chits of a stack of 6. So we randomly pick one, and they're lettered on the back A through F. Each one is numbered 1 through 6, and each one also has 6 numbers on it. So what these numbers here are references to a paragraph that will give us a clue about who did it. So we select our villain, we select our die roll. So 6. So what this is saying is that when we're told to look at chit 1, we reference value number 6 because our die roll is 6. So we would take a look at paragraph 84. So after that, we do our outfitting. You can pick whatever you want. You can bring up to 9 pieces of gear. Technically, you can you can carry more. There's just not boxes for it, but you have to pay suspension of disbelief for it. So the idea is, okay, you're coming in from outside, and it's on the cover, all right? So you're in a vacuum suit, so that you get for free, and you have to have it. Then you can pick whatever else you want to bring. So here I have a submachine gun. Don't forget the ammo. I did forget the ammo last time. I brought a laser gun with no ammo. Second combat I ran out of ammo and didn't last too long. Well, I lasted longer than you'd think. I brought some scotch. I brought a mono sword here for hand-to-hand combat. A flashlight because a lot of these rooms end up being dark. Another thing I didn't bring with me. And a lockpick. Oh, you know what I need to bring is a bot slaver. So on these chits, the number on the left is suspension of disbelief points. So you can bring something crazy, but you have to pay a little bit more for it. So you can bring a backup suit, but you have to pay 5 points. And everything additional to your vacuum suit, you have to pay an additional 5 suspension of disbelief points. So this will cost us 8. I might want to get rid of something else. So the scotch is kind of cool to have, and a couple characters actually request scotch from you, and if you don't have it, they'll fight you. At least in the last game I played. So maybe we want to get rid of. Let's see, if I run out of this, it's really nice to have that. So we'll go ahead and get rid of the scotch. So I'll end up paying a net of 2. So I'm at 52 points. If that ever gets to 75, I die because the story becomes unbelievable. You've kind of pushed it too far. So during the game, the other way you would use that is if you unwarrantedly kill a character, not a robot, but a character. If you just shoot a character offhand, you have to pay 5 points for that because Jim wouldn't really do that. You can pay 2 to ignore a stun result, or pay 5 to ignore a wound result. And then here on our display, these are status markers on the backs of wound. So you go, when your arms are damaged, you take a penalty during ranged combat. And then when all 7 are damaged, all 6 are damaged, you're dead. So you play until either that happens, you win, or that happens. Lose, lose, win. Well, you still have to get there and solve the clue. The clues are very, like so-and-so is with so-and-so, and so you kind of have to deduce from those what's going on. So let's take a look at a couple turns just to get a feel for it. I'm using 2 different colored dice. The game doesn't specify that you have to say which one. So you're going to roll 2 dice to check for paragraphs, and it says to just pick one as the first number and one as the second number. I don't like the spirit of that. You could, if you knew what the paragraphs were, you could potentially game it. So this will always be my tens place, and this will always be my ones place. The only time you would add these together for the event is if you're using the laser cutter to cut through a bulkhead. We're not doing that. So the first thing we have to do is we enter on one of these doors. We're going to go there. That's our movement for the turn, so we're going to explore it. So it's paragraph 33. We're in a corridor. The corridor is dark but empty. Okay, so I have a flashlight, so if there was combat, we could still see, but nothing happened, so we're good there. So that's the interaction. If anything was in there, that's the interaction. And then the reorganization is when you get people with you. Say I slave this robot. I can put him where I want him. That's the reorganization. So they're too big to fit in here, but I just put the feet in the one it's in. And then facing also matters. Because this character, he's facing right. Jim's right. So he can only see right and front because of where he is. So, you kind of have to get your party organized how you want it. I like to have somebody in front of me if I can, so that they can take a shot, have them open a door and get electrocuted, all sorts of stuff like that. So it's a pretty interesting game. So we're gonna check the door here. So we roll on this, 26. We come down here, 26, the door opens. We're good there. I'm gonna check our paragraph, 22, and now we're in an industrial area, which is what the colored space is. So yellow is industrial, white's a corridor, blue I think is service. So we are in, what did I say? Industrial 22. You have entered a warehouse. You may, if you wish, pry open a crate. If you do, roll a die, 1 to 3, see this. 4 to 6, see this. What the heck? Let's give it a shot. So we're gonna pry open the crate. Let's see what happens. 5, so 186. The creature gives you, that can't be right. Okay, I'm not sure where I saw 186. 165 is the correct number. We are here. The crate contains sardines. I don't know if they're sardine chits. It wouldn't surprise me if there was, but even if there was, I'm not going to take it. See, stuff like that. That's pretty cool. So we're good there. There's no interaction, or I guess that was the interaction. No reorganization. So we're going to keep going like that. I don't want to show too many. To spoil it, I'll come back and show combat because it's kind of interesting in how it plays out. But I'm going to keep reading some paragraphs and rolling dice. It's good stuff. Alright, we're pretty early in. Started here, kind of went over this way. There was a monofilament blocking that doorway, so I decided to go up. We're going to hit the elevators and hang out on B level for a little bit. But in this corridor, I was ambushed by 2 secure bots. So we'll take a look at combat. So what typically happens, and again, 3 easy to follow steps. Highest initiative goes first. Jim right now has 9, so he's going to go first. So he's going to move or fight. And then, is that right? Yeah, you can, hold on. I said that backward. So you can move or turn during the movement phase. And then during equipment, you can either change where equipment is because you have to have it in your hand to actually use it. So you can move it from your body to your hand or the other way around, or from your body to your leg or the other way around. So there's this thing in the leg sheath here. I'd have to put it on my body and then into my hand. So it would take 2 turns to do that without fighting. During movement, you can turn. If I turn left, they end up over here because he's facing front. So there's kind of a cool first-person thing going on, even though it's player perspective backward, but that's okay. So they're in front of him, near, middle, and far. So the way that the combat works is if you're in the same space as somebody, you have to hand-to-hand fight them. If you're farther away, you can shoot. So we're going to have to hand-to-hand. I can't remember what... Oh, yeah. His inherent hand-to-hand is 4, but the submachine gun has a 7, so we'll use the 7. We're going to go first. So we're at -1 because their combat is 8. Yeah, their combat's 8. So we're at -1, and then we roll in the hand-to-hand. Same thing for the fire. It's just you find the weapon you're using, and then you roll on it. S is stun, D is dead. The asterisk means that the weapon you're using is out of ammunition. So -1, all we can do is stun. So we'll go ahead and try for that. I need a 5 or a 6. We'll go for this guy, it doesn't really matter, they're the same. Got it. So we put one of these handy stun markers on him. There's a robot stun and a stun. You would use this for Jim or Angelina. I don't know why it couldn't just be stun. The characters that you run across, they have a stun side, as you can see there. And it's awkward, but these long ones flip that way. I would expect it to flip that way, but they don't. Small quibble. Now he's going to get to do the same. He's at a +1, and you can see much higher. Just one. That's going to stun. I'm going to pay 2 to get rid of him. We're in this other guy's equipment phase, and he becomes unstunned. Thinking about that, it probably makes more sense for me to back up, which would do that, so we'll do that now. So combat, the round just starts again. So I'm going to back up, and then I'm going to shoot at this guy with my submachine gun, which is at least going to stun. So I'll roll 2 dice, 7. So I'm out of ammunition, and it didn't even kill him. So we flip this over, unfortunately, just showing red, and they're going to get to go. On the back here, it gives a flow chart for what the robots do or what characters do. So it's not in near, it's not in the same space with the ally. It has fire, so it's going to fire. And you can tell it has fire because of that right there. It has a laser pistol. And I think most of the robots do, maybe 50-50. That's cool though. Croupier. This game has a Bartender Robot, which pretty much makes it the best game ever. There it is. And he gets to throw shot glasses at people, which is kind of cool. And he throws them with such force that it's the equivalent of a pistol. The S there, kind of cool. So he's going to get to shoot. Let's see, it doesn't... Yeah, I don't know if he would move. I think for these guys it makes more sense to fight hand-to-hand because they're going to have a better chance, but it doesn't have move on here. So it's just going to stand there and shoot at me with its laser pistol. 6. That does nothing. Okay, so it's going to go like that until I think I can bug out, which would mean I would go back to the space I was in. I can leave this. I need to check that. I haven't done it before, and I end up dying, so it probably makes more sense to just get out of the area, forget all about it. Because if not, oh, you know what? Yeah, so this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to back up again. This guy becomes unstunned. That's my movement. For equipment, I'm going to switch this out. You're going to get to shoot 8. So that's going to do some damage. So now we roll here. I rolled a 3, so my left leg is wounded. Just like that. This guy's going to get to go. 10, that's going to be another damage. Left arm. So I re-rolled because if you roll something that you're already wounded in, you just re-roll. So now I'm not going to move, but I'm going to shoot my bot slaver at it. And I've actually never used that, so I'm going to look it up. Okay, so you actually have to use it in hand-to-hand, so I'm actually going to move these guys up. So I would have moved forward. They shot at me and hurt me a little bit. Now I'm going to do hand-to-hand against this guy. I'm at +2 now. And if I get a D, he becomes a slave to me. Nope, but he's stunned. So I'll play this out.